Hey guys, so I just got done interviewing for the electrical JATC local 332, and I wanted to make a video just to help future individuals that are planning on getting in the apprenticeship, basically some of the steps and kind of what to expect. I felt like there was somewhat of a lack of resources, and yeah, I just really hope that this video helps future individuals really looking for that information. So first and foremost, this area is highly competitive to get into. I mean, if you don't know somebody, you're gonna really have to put in the work to get in. I mean, plain and simple. One, you got to shoot really high on your exam just to get an interview. That's pretty standard for most apprenticeships throughout the nation. Once you get scheduled for the interview, you need to make sure that you've done your research. I mean, for the type of questions that they might be asking. And three, experience really helps. Like, if you have somewhat of an idea of what a construction worker does, that helps. Have you done anything similar to that? Or of course, if you've actually already started in your path of electrical work, then there it is. So this video, I want to really touch on the type of questions they're going to be asking for the interview. So one being, they started off basically asking me, what got you interested in the electrical field, basically, right? And I mean, I felt like I had a good response to that. Being that I already have 3 years in it, I can show that I've maintained, a commitment to it, and not only a commitment, but I do have a passion for it. Like, I genuinely really enjoy going to work and doing electrical work. I love the culture behind it. The guys being just going to work and getting shit done. It just feels really good, and getting it done in a good way. It's really fulfilling. So for me, that was kind of where I went with that question. Now, one of the second questions that they asked me was, describe a time when someone, family member or a coworker, got hurt. Kind of like, how'd you respond to it, right? Again, I reflected more towards experience. So a lot of my situational was on the job situations where someone got hurt. I was basically training somebody to take over my lighting position job, and the aerial boom truck, the bucket, the hydraulic hose actually busted. So at that point, he was like halfway in the air. I had to assess the situation by having him come down and take off the harness. The guy was kind of panicking. He was, new to the trade. Calm him down, let him know, hey, it's all good. Everything's going to be all right, get him off. At that point, I was moving forward to the hydraulic fluid being all over the concrete. I was very fortunate to receive good training with this company that I'm in with right now. I kind of knew, okay, can't have that on the concrete. Definitely can't have that getting in the sewer system. So I pulled out a kit that we had in the truck to kind of assess that situation so that it wouldn't further leak. To make matters worse, I had to deal with some of that getting on someone's Tesla. So that individual later came out, and I had to basically calm them down and exchange information and whatnot. So I felt like I dealt with that pretty good, and I felt like that was a good example to give them. Now, moving forward to another of the questions is, okay, give us a time when you had to basically do a job from start to finish. So again, I refer to previous experience. One of the construction jobs now that I was in, I was basically responsible for installing some linear light fixtures in the room. And basically I oversee that room from start to finish, whether it be making sure that the strut was all lined up accordingly, that the air thread cable was hanging properly so that, everything was leveled and looking good, looking clean, right? So I gave that as an example, and I felt like I got some good points off of it. Now, another one of the questions. Okay. I'm not 100% sure on how they worded it, but it's pertaining to kind of like give us a time where you had to work alone under no supervision. Again, I was very fortunate to have a good response to that, being that I used to work in the nights by myself all the time, so I was responsible for making sure that everything was done by the end of the night, without no supervision. I had to basically do shopping center sweeps, basically maintain, repair any lights, ballasts that needed to get changed out, and I did that for about 1.5 years. So, that was kind of my example of what I did around that time under no supervision. Another one of the questions was, give us an example of one of the times you got mad at a coworker, So I wanted to be careful with that question. I didn't want to come off as too aggressive. So I basically let them know, like, hey, again, I related it to the industry. I used an example of a coworker that wanted to do some hot work. And, we were in charge of doing some demo work, and I was like, hey, we got training. This is to be locked out, tagged out. I didn't come across too aggressive towards him, and I kind of explained to him the dangers that fall behind that. Although he felt comfortable doing it, I understand that, like, it's part of our training, just find the circuit, lock out, tag out. That's it. It's not that difficult. And that's kind of where I went with that question. That's pretty much it overall. I want to say there was another 2 questions, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember them at this point. But I hope that those actually kind of give you an idea of where it's going. I was preparing for the whole, when I was doing online research, there's so much stuff out there. So I kind of just wanted to kind of lean in more towards this trade and what to expect. I was like, out there they have this whole thing where it's like, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, so I was kind of expecting that, but again, that didn't come up in those words, but that was another thing. So now that I finished this interview, I won't find out in 2 weeks whether I got accepted or not, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I guess I'll just keep you guys posted on how it went. And I hope this video is somewhat useful. I mean, if you guys have any questions, just, write it down in the descriptions below, and I'll respond to them and help as many people as I can. So, all right, good luck, guys. Later.